Indonesian government for the deaths of
They claim
Greg
they
and
did.
his companions?
They claim that they asked.
Publicly protest.
No, they asked diplomatic questions, which allowed them to get diplomatic answers.
Well, I certainly delivered protests as ambassador at the time. I guess they're not at the level of the Prime Minister, of course, but...
But isn't that pretty serious when 2 television crews are gunned down by Indonesians, and in this country no one stands up, the leader of the country doesn't stand up and protests in the most vigorous language to those who've done it?
Well, let me say that at that time, this was October 1975, first of all, there was considerable uncertainty in the early days about the facts, about how they died.
There's now been, I think you know, there's now been plenty of released intelligence documentation that suggests very strongly that Australia, like the other Western powers, knew exactly what was going on and knew what had happened to these journalists within hours of what had happened to them.
We knew within, I don't know whether it was hours, but within days anyway, that they'd been killed. I'm not even to this day precisely sure what happened, except they're very unwise to be where they were.
It subsequently proved to be unwise, but Greg would never have expected to be murdered because of the very good relationship that people like Walcott was very busy proclaiming. That would be the last thing Greg would have expected to happen. He had no... Why would they kill them? Well, of course, what he didn't know was that they had every intention of invading East Timor, and they didn't want the world to know.
It's clear that Western governments knew exactly what the Indonesians were planning. Here's a selection of secret diplomatic messages sent from Jakarta by the ambassadors of Britain, Australia and the United States. The British ambassador, Sir John Archibald Ford, cabled, "It is in Britain's interest that Indonesia absorb their territory as soon and unobtrusively as possible, and when it comes to the crunch, we should keep our heads down." The Australian ambassador, Richard Walcott, cabled his government, "Although we know it's not true, the formal position of the Indonesian government is that there is no Indonesian military intervention in East Timor." He meant, of course, that the Indonesians were lying, although he strongly advised his government not to question the lie. "We should act," he cabled, "in a way designed to minimize the public impact in Australia and show private understanding to the Indonesians of their problem." The American ambassador noted simply that he hoped the Indonesians would be effective, quick, and not use our equipment.